So in March of this year, a class action lawsuit was filed against 7 of the biggest names in HVAC. You have Trane, Carrier, Daikin, Lennox, Bosch, all these guys. And the allegation is simple. They coordinated residential equipment price increases for 5 years straight. Now, whether that wins in federal court or not, one thing is not up for debate. The price of residential HVAC systems has basically doubled. In 2020, the average homeowner paid around $6,000. Now they're paying closer to 14. And so your customer sees that number and thinks you, the HVAC shop, did it, but you didn't, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly where that 8 extra grand went. So your customer basically thinks that you did it as the HVAC shop owner, but you didn't. So in this video, I'm going to show you where that 8 grand actually went. Now, if you've been running an HVAC shop for more than 5 years, you felt this already. Customers are angrier, reviews are more harsh. People throw around words like price gouging, and sometimes it's your own neighbor saying it. Meanwhile, your life doesn't look twice as good. Your margins didn't double, your trucks didn't double, your office staff didn't double. The price doubled, right? Your business did not. So obviously something got added, and it just wasn't added by you. You're not crazy. And you're not the one creating the problem. You're the one standing in front of the customer when the bill shows up. Quick intro, my name is Gitis. I am building Run-A-Call, which is an HVAC operating system for a shop that has 1 to 20 technicians, flat rate, no contract, none of that bullshit, no per technician fees. I am not a technician, I'm a software founder. I run a small AI agency on the side called Kunik. Cool, now let me show you the math. So trade publications were already reporting, I think back in 2024, that the average residential replacement had gone from a little over 6 grand in 2020 to around 12,000 by 2024. By 2026, it went up to $14,000. And depending on the market, plenty of installs are higher than that. So yes, the price basically doubled. And 2026 is the worst version of it all, because now you've got the A2L refrigerant transition fully in place, new equipment requirements, there's tariffs and expired tax credits, all stacking up on top of years of manufacturer increases. So let's break down the extra $8,000, where it actually went. All right, so where the extra $8,000 went from 2020 to 2026. In 2020, average install price $6,000. In 2026, average install price is $14,000, which makes a difference of $8,000. Now there's 5 big buckets here. Bucket number 1 is manufacturer increase. Okay. That is around roughly $3,500. And that is the biggest one. And that is also the one that got people sued. Okay, so in March of 2026, class action was filed alleging that the big manufacturers coordinated residential price increases going all the way back to 2020. And again, this is an allegation, this is not a verdict, but even without the lawsuit, the price just increased. You can check. And people reported that companies have been just increasing these prices from every year, from 2023, 2024, 25, 2025, and so on. And some specifically tied to new refrigerant equipment. Some tied it to pricing strategy, but when you compound that over 5 years, I mean, the costs are up 50 to 60%. So on a normal residential install, that's roughly $3,500 right there, okay? Then you have A2L refrigerant transition, okay? So A2L transition refrigerant, and that is roughly $2,500. This one is straightforward. As of this year, new equipment has to use these new refrigerants. That means redesigned systems, leak detection, just more expensive equipment. And industry estimates put the A2L premium at roughly 15 to 30% over the older equivalents. So on a residential call it 2 grand, 2.5 grand, okay? Then you have source 3, which is tariffs. Now tariffs, roughly $1,000. HVAC equipment uses obviously globally sourced materials, components, right? You have copper, you have aluminum, you have boards, components, all that stuff. And when tariffs go up, manufacturers pass that through. And they've said that publicly. So between the tariff environment in 2025 and 2026, and the surcharges that came with it, call it another $1,000 on that invoice for the client, okay? Then you have source number 4. So you have manufacturer increase, A2L transition refrigerant, tariffs. Source number 4 is the PE platform margin, and that is going to be roughly $1,500. Now, this one matters more than most people realize. When private equity backed platforms buy local shops, prices usually go up. Not sometimes, but usually. And if any of those shops are in your market, they reset customer expectations to go up. So even if you didn't want to move your pricing, the market moved it up for you, okay? So call that another, I don't know, let's say $1,200, yeah? And then you have your software and operating costs. Software and operating costs, that's going to cost you, I don't know, $500. And this one is smaller, but still real. Software gets more expensive, processing gets more expensive, per technician fees get more expensive. And across these, across enough installs, that turns into several $100s per job. Call it $500. So you add 35, 25, 1,000, 1.2, 500, you're getting roughly $8,000, and that is the full gap. So you have manufacturer increases, A2L transition, tariffs, private equity pushing prices up, and then software and operating costs creep. That's $8,000. So that's not you, that's not your technician, not your dispatcher, no one's at fault here, not even your install coordinator, but this is what's happening, and this is where that $8,000 basically lives. And 2026 even got worse for the homeowner. So there's one more piece here. That's why 2026 just feels more painful to the customers. The federal tax credit that softened the blow for a lot of homeowners expired last year. So now customers are paying the full price. There's no credits, there's no offset, which means someone who might have felt like they were paying around $10,000 out of pocket before now feels like they're paying 14, and that feels brutal. And when people feel pain, they look for someone to blame, and usually that is the person that is coming and installing all of this HVAC equipment, okay? And here's the part that's actually unfair. Your customer does not read manufacturer earning calls. They have no idea. They don't track tariff schedules. They don't know about A2L equipment costs or any of that. They just see one number, the number that you give them, your number, that you give them on the invoice with your company name at the top. So to them, it looks like you doubled the price. And that's why you get angry calls and bad reviews, maybe 1-star reviews, I don't know. And that's why your technician gets treated like he personally caused, inflation. So the whole extraction is kind of invisible, and you're the only visible part to it for the customer. So here's 3 things that you can actually do this week. All right, so number 1, you want to build a 1-page pricing breakdown. When you hand over a bid, show people exactly where the money goes: equipment, labor, refrigerant, overhead, margin. You don't need to show every decimal, but the more you explain, the less people assume you're making it up. 2 is audit the pieces that you actually control. You cannot call up a manufacturer and reverse 5 years of price increases. You cannot undo tariffs or any of that, but you can control your own internal stack. So your software fees, your processing fees, your per technician license, any administrative bloat you might have, that is real money. And most owners are still leaking $4,000 to $8,000 a year just there. And number 3, if you want one less extractor in the stack, fix the software side. Run a call is live. It's flat pricing, no contract, none of that. no per technician fees, no quiet annual creep where the price is gonna just go up and without you even really noticing it. We have 25 founding slots, 16 are taking, 9 are left. Okay, the founding price is $200 a month. There's, again, no contract. I can't lower trains prices. I can't reverse the refrigerant transition. I can't change the tariffs or bring back the tax credits, but I can control the software layer. And on that piece, I'd rather take less and make the math clearer for the HVAC shop. So go to runacall.com and check it out.